Hi everyone, it's Shelby here. Welcome back to A Little Literary Love. I'm glad you are with me today. I'm super excited to be doing this video because this is going to be my TBR for the Romance Readathon that is taking place in September. It is also going to be, just in general, my September TBR because this readathon lasts the entire month of September. If you're not familiar with this readathon, I will leave links down below with to the announcement video for this one. This is put together by Maggie, and I can't remember what her channel name is called, but she did this last year, and last year's theme was historical romance. So this year the theme is Phantom of the Opera, and I just thought it sounded super fun. So it's just this big long readathon. There are different teams. So this year, like I said, the theme is Phantom of the Opera, and the different teams are trying to vie for Christine's heart, and then the Phantom is the villain, and he is trying to sabotage everybody else. So your team is trying to rack up enough points to try to win this whole big challenge. And I don't know, it just sounds really cool, and it sounds super easy to get points too. Like I said, I'll have that link down below that you could go to the announcement video that kind of discusses all the different points and the different teams and whatnot. I think there's like 5 teams. You do have to join the Discord for it so that you can pick which team that you're going to be in, that you're going to be joining. And then after that, she basically said that if you really didn't want to, you just wanted to join the team and help get points for the team, you could totally do that. There's still time to join because, like I said, usually my TBRs I don't put out until a little bit closer to the month or already into the month, but I wanted to put this one out a little bit sooner than I normally do, before I put out the September new book releases, which will be the next video that I put out, just so that if you wanted to join this readathon, you still have time to do so. You still have time to pick out your TBR, because if you post certain things on social media, your team gets extra points for those, like bonus points too. So I'm trying to do all of those. Like I said, so I have joined Team Opera Singers. Each team has certain tropes that fit with their team. So if you read the team's tropes, you get extra points, but you also still get points for reading other teams' tropes. You get points for every page that you read. You get extra points if you read a Phantom of the Opera retelling or reimagining. You get extra points for reading a gothic book. I think there's extra points for reading a romance, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff like that you can do to get extra points for it. Like I said, it is the month of September, so there's a ton of time to try to get in books, and I'm really excited for it because September, I mean, it's the month before October. October, I usually have a really big reading month because it's like spooky season, and I just want to read all of the fall, spooky, gothic, paranormal, all of the books, and I never end up getting through my TBR. So I thought this would be a great way, because it's family opera, gothic type books. This would be a great way to kind of kick off and jumpstart that reading into October. So I have a list of 12 books. I feel like that's kind of ambitious because even when I pick like 10 books for my TBR, I usually am not able to get to all of those. I'm really, really, really hoping I can get through all of these, because my list that I want of books that I wanted to read for this one was much longer than this, and this is what I've narrowed it down to, that I think I potentially could reasonably get in. And like I said, most of these books involve gothic. There's a lot of gothic romances on here. And I tried to pick a bunch of books that have the either forced proximity. I don't think I mentioned that actually. So my team that I picked is Opera Singers. The 2 tropes for my team specifically that I have picked, they have forced proximity and enemies to lovers. I picked this team because there are a lot of books that fit under these 2 tropes, and there's a lot of books that I've been eyeing, that I've been wanting to read for a while, that have these tropes. So I felt like, because I'm a bit of a mood reader too, I know that my eye is probably going to wander off of this TBR to other books, but I was hopeful that even if that happens, I could still get the extra points for the tropes. And then at the same time, even if I decide just to like completely blow my TBR and I just want to read some nonfiction, I want to read whatever, and I don't actually get the extra points, I will still get points for the pages that I read. So that will still help my team. Okay, I think that's all that I'm going to mention now. Like I said, I'll have a link down below to the announcement video for you all. And we're just going to get right into all the books because, like I said, I have 12 that I have to talk about. So, first book that I have is going to be Redemption by Kenya Wright. This one is a mafia-esque romance. I have read Kenya Wright before for the Mafia Romance Readathon back in May, and I really enjoyed the book that I read. So I did have this. I think this one might have been a free one on Audible, so that's why I picked this one up. So this is from this is an interracial couple. The male main character was formerly in the Yakuza, and then our female main character is Black, and she has kids, and they end up getting stuck in a snowstorm. And with him, I think he's in like a cabin or something. So I thought this would work because this sounds like, you know, like they're in a cabin together. So that is definitely forced proximity. So I felt like it would work for that trope. And I have, like I said, I have this on audio, so that should be an easy way to get this. Then I have Her Soul for Revenge by Harley LaRue. This is the second book in her Souls trilogy series. I read the first book a year or two ago, and I still haven't finished the series, and I did buy this book on Audible to listen to, and I just haven't gotten around to it. So I know this is a dark paranormal romance. The female main character was taken by a cult, and I think she escapes, and then she runs into this demon who makes a deal with her that if she sells her soul to him, then he will help her get revenge on the people that took her. So I know, like I said, this is dark. I know there's supposed to be lots of kinks in this one. There were tons of kinks in the first one, and I absolutely loved it. So I'm super excited to read this one. Then I have Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This one was kind of like blown up everywhere. This is a very popular book right now. This is a fantasy, and I believe this is a portal fantasy. It sounds like it's between a fae and a human, and the human ends up, I think the human lives in like a desert area, but then portals into this realm of fae, and it's icy everywhere. They are enemies to lovers, so that fits the enemies to lovers trope for my team. I also wanted to read this because one or two of my friends, I know one at least of my friends, has read this and has begged my friend group to read this story. So because she said it was absolutely amazing and that she loved it. So I'm super excited to try this one out. Then I have Music of the Night by Angela J. Ford. This one I've been meaning to read for a while because this one was actually in one of those like free ebook days, and I snagged it, and I've been wanting to try this author out for a while. So this is a Phantom of the Opera retelling meets Beauty and the Beast. This is a gothic fantasy romance, so it kind of hits a lot of those extra bonus points if it doesn't necessarily hit my trope points. And this is by a Black author, so there's also some little smidgen extra points if you read a book by a BIPOC author or about character that is BIPOC, and then the same for LGBTQ. If you read a book by an LGBTQ author or about LGBTQ characters. So I do have a couple of those in here. Where was I? Okay. Then I have Grimstone by Sophie Lark. So this is a gothic romance. I know this gives kind of like spooky vibes because I think they are next door neighbors and he owns this creepy mansion maybe. There's an age gap and he is the older one. He is apparently a mysterious hot doctor. Don't know a ton about this. I'm not sure that this one got the greatest reviews, but I do want to try this out, and there is going to be a second book. Like, I think this is going to be a duet, and the second book is supposed to be coming out in October, I believe. So I figured if I like this, then I can move on to the second one when it does come out. Then I have Dreadful by Greer Rivers. So this, I think, is technically the third book of the Tattered Curtain series, but all of the books in the series are standalones, so you can read them in any order that you want to. Phantom by Greer Rivers actually is a fantastic book to read for this readathon. I have already read this. I suppose I could potentially reread it and get points for it because it fits so many of the prompts and it's just absolutely fantastic. And I've been meaning to read more Greer Rivers because I love that book and I just haven't gotten around to it. So I figured this would be a great time to try to read another book from that series. So this one is a gothic, I don't know if this is a gothic book or gothic romance, but it did mention gothic. This is a Sweeney Todd retelling mixed in with a little bit of like Medusa, and there's mafia and revenge plot. I don't know too much more other than that, but I am super excited to read that one. Then we have The Night Runs Red by Amber Palmer. I'm really excited to read this one too. So this is about a vampire male main character and then a fae female main character, and they are supposed to get married. It's like an arranged marriage. It's been fated to, I don't know if this is to keep the peace between the two species or like why they have to get married, but they have to get married. This is a gothic romance. They are definitely enemies to lovers because I guess the two species don't get along. There's forced proximity because they have to live together after getting married. And I've started following this author pretty recently because this book was recommended to me in some group that I'm in. I don't remember which one. And then like some of the artwork that she has posted for this book sounds so good. Like I can't wait to read this one. And then we have another vampire one, Eternal Captive by Elle May, except this one is sapphic vampires. And it kind of sounds like from the blurb that this is one of the women is a vampire and the other one might be a vampire hunter. Maybe. So it did say that it is enemies to lovers. It's sapphic. This is also an LGBTQ author and characters. So it works for that. And then the only like new release that I have on here that is an arc that I should be getting that I plan to read, don't know if it's actually going to fit any of the prompts, but I will get the points for reading it, is Between Fear and Favor by Jess Wisecup. This is the third book of her Divine Between series. That this has been the third time that she has actually had to push the release date back for this one. So I'm really hoping that we actually get it this month. I've also heard that if she decides to push it back again, then she won't be able to do like a pre-order for it and she'll kind of be in like Amazon jail for a little bit. So fingers crossed that we actually get this one. This is supposed to come out on the 13th. Like I said, I'm really hoping that this one comes out. I'm super excited for it. Then I have The Hells of Notra Nam by R.L. Davenor. This is another sapphic romance, and this is a Phantom of the Opera retelling that is also Phantom of the Opera meets The Hunchback of Notre Dame retelling. So I'm interested to find out more about that one because that's really all I know. And then I wanted to read The Risk, which is the first book in the Mindfuck series by St. Abbey. This, I'm thinking this one might be enemies to lovers. I don't know that for sure. I know this is like a huge book. Like this is like a cult classic romance world book that everybody has read. I still have not read it. This is a romantic suspense, and it ends up being a romance between the male character is an FBI agent, and the female character is a serial killer. So that sounds really interesting. Like I said, I've been wanting to pick this one up for a while, and I just haven't. And I've kind of also been in a little bit of a romantic suspense mood. So I thought I would just kind of throw that on there, and I'm hoping to read it. And I think those books, the Mindfuck series, it's like a series of novellas. So I'm hoping if I really like it and I just want to finish out the series, that will get me pretty quick points. So we'll see. And then the last book that I have on here is The Angel's Mask by Jessica, I'm trying to read my writing, Mason, I think. This is another Phantom of the Opera retelling. This is a gothic romance, and this author is LGBTQ, and it sounds like really similar to the whole Phantom of the Opera like story. At least maybe the movie. But then it kind of sounds like that this potentially could turn into a poly romance. Maybe it sounds like it's supposed to be very erotic. There are more books in this series, and all the reviews were great for this one. Like I said, it kind of gives vibes that maybe later on, like in later books, that there might be more partners joining them in the bedroom. I don't know. It sounded really good, and I wanted to try it out. So I feel like that's fairly ambitious, at least for me, of a TBR for September. But I'm hoping to just kind of have like a really fun time with it. I don't really do a ton of readathons just because they at times stress me out. So I don't know. I may end up being one of those people that is barely on the Discord, and like I said, I just kind of joined it, and then I'll log my points for my team. I don't really know. There's already been some chat about like how to strategize and people reworking their TBRs to get us more points. And I'm kind of like, I don't really care about that as much. I just want to read some fun books and get points for it. I don't really care that much about winning. So there is that. There is going to be my TBR for the readathon and also for the entire month of September. If you like this video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. And leave a comment down below with some of the books that you are looking forward to reading in September. And let me know if you are also planning on joining the readathon with us. Otherwise, that is going to be it, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.